So the paradigm of natural horsemanship needs to go even deeper because there are two massively fundamental missing links in the paradigm of horsemanship. And let's actually back up for a second. Let's start with the term horsemanship. That sort of implies that you have these skills with horses and, you have these levels of understanding about tack and equipment and horse. But let's actually break that apart. Like if we said friendship, well, what does that mean, right? Two people that are deciding to engage in a mutual consensual relationship that will be hopefully respectful and honoring and allow each being to be seen and heard and felt in a safe environment. So let's forward that to horsemanship. Now, if we take it out of the context of the skills and the riding and this thing and that thing about tack and feet and all that stuff, well, what really is horsemanship? It's a friendship between man and horse. And hopefully, and this is where I see that paradigm going, it is not from the head of the human to the body of the horse. It is from the essence of the human to the essence of the horse before any of the supposed skills about riding or moving horses or making them work or, getting them trained. It is the foundational level of who and how you are showing up in your energy field. Okay, so we usually look at horses, right? And we do a lot of natural horsemanship is a lot about reading body language. Do you know what the horse is reading about you? Yeah, they're reading your body language to an extent, but they're reading the authenticness of your being. They're reading the essence of your character because remember, animals don't read science papers. Humans read science papers, but animals are experts at reading energy. So they understand your intentions before you do. That's why sometimes they get tense. They understand if you're breathing properly or not. They understand if you're up in your head or you're fully present and embodied. And they understand if you're carrying any of manure with you that you need to scoop before you even get into that arena from them. They know before you even start. Sometimes they know even miles and miles and miles before you get to the barn. They feel your energy field. Yet we are still up in our heads about all the things we quote unquote know and all the knowledge we have as horsemen or women or kids. But yet we don't even take the time to be aware of our own energy because that's the language. It's not body language that animals communicate in. We think that that's what it is. But if we really go back to the basic foundation, it's essence to essence. It's like knowing how somebody feels and who they could potentially be and are they going to be harmful to me. So I think we really need to shift the perspective of the paradigm of horsemanship. It has nothing to do with your skills. It has nothing to do if you can take a reining horse and make it spin around 10 times and perfectly stop, or get it to do a sliding stop or, to chase a cow. That's you. That's not the horse. And the truth is that's actually not even your essence. It's something you were taught to do. So when people say to me, I know my horse, do you? Because in order to know your horse, quite honestly, what I've experienced and observed, you really need to know yourself. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with that tell me all about their horses, and I talk with the horses, and there's so much projection because the human is seeing reflected back to themselves who they're being, not actually who the horse is. So I think that this paradigm And this word fundamentally needs to shift from a set of skills that you understand about horses and being around horses to what is the essence of your relationship with yourself and with your horse. And do you know your horse before all of the stuff that you're thinking about with training or how they move or how they do this? Do you understand and can you feel the essence and the truth of the soul standing before you? Can they be fully seen? Can they be fully heard? Can they be fully vulnerable without feeling on some level like you're going to push them or you're going to attack them? Can you be someone that they want to be around if there was no skills being applied, if there was no training being applied? So let's start there as the fundamental paradigm shift. Now let's look at the two major things that are missing from the foundation of horsemanship. Number one, your horse does not react by body language alone. Your horse is an energy being that is understanding fully that the native language of all animals and all nature is telepathy. What that means is that their first form of communication is pictures. You know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? When you're out, and if you happen to be a predator and you're hunting, you have to be so focused on sending the pictures to your pack, what you're going to do. If you're a predator, if you're a prey animal, you have to be so in tune with the collective picture of where that lead mare is taking you, you don't miss a single footstep. So the first thing that we have to understand is, in all that we've been trying to do to communicate with our horses or understand our horses, we, as a human species, are completely telepathic animals. But that's been shut down in our education system. Why? Because telepathy takes a level of innocence and purity and clarity and integrity and impeccability and precision that most of us have been conditioned out of. You can't be telepathic and then have fucked up thoughts about somebody else, because they're going to know it, right? So you have to be coming from a place where you have cleaned up all of your crap and scooped your poop, so that you've got a pure thought form whenever you're sharing that communication with another. Horses often get confused because people have a backwards picture of what they don't want them to do in their mind, but thinking they're telling the horse to do the right thing, and the horse is like, holy shit, why? This is so confusing. So one, we can clear that up. The second thing that we have to shift in the paradigm with horses, we are now looking at neuroscience as sort of like the be-all, end-all with horses, but it's not. A horse's spinal alignment, whether there is unrecognized pain or discomfort or misalignment in the body, when that gets properly addressed first, the horse breathes better. When the horse breathes better, the nervous system is calm. When the nervous system is calm, that's the chemistry that it's sending to the brain. The brain isn't sending the chemistry first. The spine is sending the proper signaling based on how that being is feeling in their body to the brain, and then the brain sets out the chemistry. What most of us want to do in training is we want to go at the brain. Well, let's change the brain. I'm like, hold on a minute. If the body is what dictates the brain chemistry, go to the body first. Let the animal feel comfortable in their own system. And especially when you can't see what's misaligned and you assume, well, that horse is fine because they're not showing any lameness. Doesn't mean they're not uncomfortable somewhere. Haven't you ever had the experience of your back being off and you get grouchy or you get testy? It's the same thing with the horses. And now we're asking a being whose body it is to do what we tell it to do while we're on its body. All I can say to you is put yourself in your horse's hooves. Does that seem right? How would you feel? Forget about what you think, because quite honestly, even though Descartes, who we, kind of tout is, I think, therefore I am, look around on the planet. See how many people are in their heads? The planet is not functioning in a healthy, natural way. We're destroying ecosystems that all life depend on. That can't be healthy. And if you're telling me that you're touting thinking is like the be-all, end-all, well, look at the results. You can't tout something without looking at the results, right? And if you look at the results and you say, well, we have all this modern technology, and where is it leading us? To people that are leading us astray from our natural instincts, to people that we're paying to kill us, to kill animals, to harm, instead of being peaceful and aligned and in sync with heaven on Mother Earth. So horsemanship, while we've made it so much about our skills and what we can make horses do, if we're truly the most intelligent species on the planet, and horses are here as a reminder and as a teacher and a guide to lead us to being in right relationship with our own personal power and all of nature. And if as the most intelligent species on the planet, we have the capacity to, hold on to the past, which animals can too, to be fully present. But the thing is, we also have the capacity to see what's ahead and to have the ability to analyze, if I make this choice, how could that affect my future? Animals aren't thinking in that because they're in the moment, they're very instinctual. And quite honestly, if we look at anything with spirituality or religion, it's constantly talking about being in the present moment, right? Now, the problem that comes in with us thinking we're the most intelligent species on the planet and having a bit of arrogance about it is that we're not actually paying attention and connected to the results that we're producing. Just, for instance, when they say the vaccines are safe and you take them and then you recognize, whoa, the incidences of cancer have just shot up 300%, or people are dying. And if you're going to claim that something is scientific, you damn well better make sure that you are clearly and precisely accounting for your results. Because we can say anything we want, and we can have people think whatever they want, because you learn in school, right? Supposedly science is like the be-all, end-all. You trust doctors, you trust scientists, you trust them blindly. In the horse world, you trust the people that are older than you trust. But here's the thing. When you're thinking, problem is you're up in your head. You are not designed to be up in your head. You are actually designed to be in your body. And here's the thing about your body. It's the only thing that can feel. Your brain can't feel. When you bang your elbow, you don't feel pain in your head. You feel pain in your elbow. And if we tout thinking as such a great thing, and thinking is really only based on logic and reason, well, ethics and morality aren't really based on logic or reason. They're based on feel. And they're based in gut instinct, which is your gut brain. So the Chinese that studied traditional Chinese medicine over 5,000 years ago already knew that the gut brain is the first brain. It's where the raw data comes in. Then the information is supposed to go up to the head brain. The head brain processes it, and it architects the reality. Well, when you're taking in a whole lot of information as quote-unquote knowledge or intellectual information, and you're trying to get your brain to digest this, you're reversing the system of the way information was designed to come into our beings. And all the animals know this. They know things at a gut level. Sometimes your brain can't figure out a situation because thinking is not required, but feeling and empathy and understanding somebody else's vulnerability is required. Even feeling, honestly, your own vulnerability. How much abuse has gone on in this world? How many people listening to this right now have had severe, and not even severe, but trauma in their life? And so they felt it in their body. It was so intense that the natural protective mechanism that the Creator gave us is, hey, go up into your head, because you can isolate yourself off. You don't have to feel this, and you'll get through it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's what we were designed with, to protect ourselves, especially as kids experiencing so much. But the point is, you have to come back down. You have to come back into your body. You have to reconnect with your essence to truly understand who you are and how you are. Then you can understand why you are. But this, in my experience, is what the horses are actually leading us to. We keep trying to make it about the performance. We keep trying to make it about the money. We keep trying to make it about our egos. And the horses, who happen to be highly evolved spiritual beings, which we've cut off any recognition or awareness of, because we've cut it off in ourselves as well, are simply showing up, doing their best to be in their essence, to help bring us back home to feeling our essence, to feeling safe, to recognizing we are already home in heaven on Mother Earth. And I can almost, I'm going to say 99%, guarantee you that the people having issues with their horses either got a horse that already had issues with humans, or are reflecting back to their humans the issues that the humans don't recognize in themselves, because there's so much in their head, they're not even feeling what's taking place in their bodies. So, to wrap all of this up about the paradigm shift that I see taking place, and that the horses have asked me to convey to us all, it's not just the natural horsemanship and the gentleness for the horses. It's the friendship that we have with ourselves. It's the willingness to clear and clean and scoop our own poop, to get back to the true selves that we are, in our innocence and in our purity and in our vulnerability before we were abused and traumatized. And there's a whole different range that spans. But to recognize and come home to our true essence, so that when we show up to be with them, we let go of everything that came before. We're not holding on to anything. We're seeing them from before we got any notions in our head about anything of what to do with them, or what we think that they should do, or how they should be, or what we want to accomplish with them. They're asking us to show up in a whole new way from our essence, which is clear and calm and pure and innocent, and allowing them to speak to us at that essence level of who they are, so that if we decide to proceed together, that both of us are seen and heard and loved and feel protected and feel safe, and we keep co-creating heaven on Mother Earth together. That is the new paradigm, which is the old paradigm that the horses want us to shift into.